Hi, welcome Snow to our Olympic coverage.
What up, MJ?
Je ne sais quoi. Et parlez-vous français?
Um, oui.
Oui, oui. Yeah. I
I'm trying
speak a
to think
little.
of
I
trying to
speak a
think
little
of something
French.
French to say.
Okay.
Champs-Élysées.
Hey, all right. So before we're doing it a little different this time. We're not doing beer this time. We're doing wine.
And salute to the French.
Yeah. Hey, French. Okay, and this is Maynard James Keenan's, right?
Yes, it's from Merkin Vineyards. Merkin,
Okay.
like, do you know what a Merkin is?
No.
It is a fake piece of pubic hair.
Really?
It's like a pubic hair wig. Like, why you'd need that, I don't know.
Yeah. Why
but
would
you
you
know,
need that?
right?
Like from Arizona.
Yeah. His winery is. I got this at the Cottonwood location. He has a couple of wineries there. He's got a big one now on the hill.
Okay.
That's where I went and ate there too. He's got good food there. And then he also has a store in Jerome. And then, fun fact, I learned that his grapes come from Wilcox. Remember when I did my trip to Wilcox, and it said that 70% of the grapes that are in Arizona wines are grown in Wilcox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 70%. It's really good to grow grapes there.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how they irrigate it. Before you drink, though, we want to dedicate this episode to our friend who we lost, Mary McCord.
Yeah,
Who was
married.
A very inspirational person to us. So this one's for you, Mary.
One of my favorite people.
Cheers. Cheers, Mary. We'll miss you. Fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer. Fucking hard.
So we talk about the Olympics, but first I want to get into this, a little disclaimer, okay? We take your feedback seriously, and remember a few weeks ago, probably a month, whatever it was, we did the What Would You Choose, that Woman or the Bear episode.
Yeah,
you weren't here.
I wasn't here, but I picked the bear. I picked the man so I could feed him to the bear.
Right.
Because I knew the bear would be hungry.
Right. That joke killed it on the podcast. Okay, just saying.
Yeah.
But apparently, my jokes did not go over well, and I want to address this. Okay, number one, it's jokes. It's humor. Okay, that's what I was trying to do, and anyone who really listens to this podcast knows that I support women 150%.
Especially if they were sitting here. Weren't they on that episode?
I believe.
I mean, I was not here, so
okay.
I can't
remember. I'm not going to get the details too much about that.
No, we're not giving names, but weren't they on the episode that day?
People were in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you can't realize that, I was just more making fun of myself more than anything, and my bad
Which we always do.
Yeah.
We both always make fun of ourselves.
That was more of it than anything, was me picking on myself. And secondly, I'm going to say this, if you don't understand that, any woman that I have been in a relationship with, as you know, for the most part, I still maintain friendships with these people. I still care about these people. I cared about them then. I care about them now. And one of them reached out to me a few weeks ago. They just need someone to talk to. They didn't have anybody to talk to. It was just via text and stuff like that. And this was somebody that we had a really bitter breakup. And I was there for her. I supported her. I was able to apologize for my faults in that relationship. And we were able to make peace on it.
She was my friend, your girlfriend. Even though she likes to throw darts at you sometimes.
This was somebody else, by the way.
I know, and that's her business, and I don't want to say her name either because it's not fair. You know, it's not a whole lot of my business. My point is I don't think that person would ever call you a woman hater. Say that you hate women, and she gets pretty ticked with you sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't think she would ever say that. It pissed me off because I know you. You've been my friend for what, like 10 years or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And I'm like, I started laughing when I heard it, honestly, because I'm like, MJ can be like a lot of different things at times. I don't think I would ever, not in a million years, put you in the category of a woman hater. Never. Like, I don't even know where they would have got that from.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and that brings up the point you were you talking about, labels and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing that pissed me off about these folks trying to name call you that. If you're listening, you don't like labels. So I don't know why you have no problem slapping a label on somebody that is completely unfair. It's not even fair. It's not even like you shouldn't do that if you don't like labels yourself.
Yeah. And to me, more than anything, I got two sides to it. Part of me is the person that I am on this podcast isn't really totally me. You know what I mean? Not totally. And when I'm not on the mic, I am sort of quiet, humble, and
Same.
And I don't.
Some of our stuff is like completely truth based from our life. Some of it is also character and role play that we do too on here. I mean, come on. I do a lot of my voices on here. Hello,
Yeah. So
like lots of different characters.
So the point of doing the podcast is you have to be interesting also, and you have to tell stories, make it funny, put a little twist of humor into it, and make fun of yourself. And I guess that's really all I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure we make fun of ourselves every single episode.
Yeah.
Like we're always making fun of ourselves, like saying our 3 listeners out there or whatever, whatever,
Right. But hey, so be it. I mean, number one, I say that it hurt, but at the same time, I am not going to change my tone of who I am and be a kinder, gentler MJ to appease anybody.
Right. And in closing, I would like to say to these folks who feel this way about you, even what we say may not change the way that you think or whatever, and that's fine. You have every right to think the way that you want to think, okay? My only thing is if you are going to sit there and believe this nonsense, or okay, I shouldn't even say it like that. If you're choosing to believe whatever you've concocted about a person, I'm only urging you to listen to your friend that is the most influential in your group, because I will say, props to you. At least you vote. I hope that you get the other 2 to vote.
Right.
Fucking go vote. Especially if you are against, like you say, you hate women haters and all that. Go fucking vote.
Right.
That's my piece to you.
Before we get to the Olympics, we'll start with that. Is for the kinder, gentler Trump, which is what we were talking about on the last podcast, how he was going to, be, a little nicer.
Oh, so
how long did that last? How long did that last?
Probably until that ear bandage came off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then he goes in and wants to attack Kamala Harris's, if I pronounce it right, Kamala Harris's,
Yeah.
race.
I know. Well, he purposely says her name wrong.
Yeah.
He does it on purpose. Yeah, I think in one of the things he's like, I don't even care how you say it. I'm going to say it how I want to say it, like a little bitch.
Yeah, and she's her parents, her mother was Indian, her father was Jamaican, so she identifies as, Black Asian American.
Which
Correct.
she has every right to.
But her mother, it was her mother was white, right, and was married to an Indian. So she also is Caucasian too. She has a little bit Caucasian. So
Well,
to me, the whole argument is stupid. Anyways, who cares what she is? It's who she is on it. But the attacks on her, well, she didn't know she was black. She just found out she was black. No, that was fucking not true.
you know when he was saying that, when he was saying it, you know what?
Black.
And how he said it like that, you
Yeah.
know, the only thing I could think of was fucking Anchorman Part 2. Remember Anchorman Part 2? When the boss, the woman boss was a black woman, and so she walks into the office, and like fucking Ron Burgundy's like, black, black. And he's like, he couldn't shut his mouth, like, 'cause he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, that's how Trump reminded me of that. I'm like, you were like a fucking parody. You're not even a real person, dude. Like, you're a fucking joke.
Right, and
You know what I mean?
he said this of all places in front of a black coalition to draw in black voters.
I know. How did you think, like, I would love to ask him that. How did you think this was going to gain you black votes? I mean, I think in his mind he was thinking, well, if I call her out on trying to be black, then these quote unquote, like, real black people, you know, I'm
Yeah.
using air quotes here,
The only way
then they're going to somehow be on my side, the orange guy's side.
Yeah.
Like, what? How does that even fucking make sense?
the only way that could have gotten worse for him is if he came out with basketball shorts on and said, "Hey, my N-words."
And his gold sneakers.
Yeah,
It's like you didn't even wear your stupid
A
gold
big-
sneakers
big
to the event.
a big gold chain, around
Like
his
with the
neck.
clock, like
Yeah.
Flavor Flav. Yeah, I know. Coming out like that. His hair in braids.
Yeah, orange cornrows.
Fucking stupid.
And you know, hey, I mean, we don't call him out for identifying part tangerine.
I'm surprised he didn't have Kanye West go with him. Like, quite honestly.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you had his vice president running mate and banned from Ashley Furniture, JD Vance, come out and say, "Hey, if you choose not to have children as a woman, you're a crazy cat lady."
First off,
Hey, sofa fucker.
I may be a little crazy. I do not own cats. Maybe a little crazy, don't have kids. But I guess you're right. I'm still going to be voting for Kamala. You will never get my vote.
I mean, that is just a great way to get the black and woman vote.
You know what pisses me off about his statement, though, in all seriousness, is his comment on if you don't have children, then you don't have a stake in the game and you don't really care about the future of
Right.
America. That has pissed me off for years, and let me tell you why. What has always been my top issue? Fucking planet, right?
Right.
And it's because of the younger generations. And what have you always heard me say? Do I fucking care about some of these people's children more than they fucking care about their own goddamn kids?
Right.
Because they don't seem to fucking vote that way. They don't vote on anything about, like, trying to make the planet okay for their offspring to live in. You know, when I could be fucking it off and being like, why am I worried about this? My bloodline ends with me. You know what I mean?
And you know, I love my kids, but at the same time, knowing what I know now, I probably would have made different decisions.
I know. I mean, I look at people that, not everyone, because, okay, I'm fine with people having a small amount of kids, but, like, the people that are just,
6,
like,
7, 8
reproducing and reproducing, I'm like, you are just a selfish fuck. You're selfish.
Did you hear what JD Vance's wife said? Her excuse for him? She goes, "He didn't mean to insult people who can't have kids. he meant to insult the poorest people that choose not to. I'm like, that's a fucking ringing endorsement right there.
Well, and as being a person who could not have children, that's how mine started out. I will say that knowing what I know now, I'm glad that science or / God, whatever way you believe, I believe that science fucked up, and that's why I'm not allowed to have kids. That's why I say, hey, fuck science sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you're a person that believes that, babies are miracles from God, then what was I supposed to say? Fuck God then for not allowing me to have kids? But I'm like, you know what? Now I have to be like, okay, well, thank you, science, for me being fucked up, for my shit getting fucked up and
Right.
I can't have kids. Or thank you, God, for sparing me. You know what I mean? And not just from having to be a parent. I would have loved being a parent, but from having to worry about what's going to happen to them.
Yeah, and at least my kids both don't want kids because of the very reason. It's the future.
Right.
And my kids will probably be okay. But it's probably the generation after that that's going to be really fucked.
I mean, and some people, even in that generation, they're going to still continue to have kids. That's the sad part. But it's like, even as bad as it gets.
Well, that's because what they're taught.
I know. They're going to just be like, well.
So then we get to the Olympics, and speaking of God, you have the opening ceremony. And boy, did Christians lose their minds.
Everything isn't about you. I'm going to say that to Christians. Everything isn't always about you.
Yeah.
All right? Because it wasn't. Because I don't remember Jesus being... You guys have always gotten Jesus' coloring wrong, because he should be like a lot tanner, but he was never blue.
Why isn't Trump attacking Jesus for, his heritage, claiming to be white?
Because he can use it to his advantage. Yeah.
So during the opening ceremony, if you obviously have seen, they had like that this thing on the bridge where it was supposed to be a celebration of the Greek gods, Dionysus.
Yes.
Okay, but they thought it was mocking the Last Supper, which is a fucking painting. It's a fucking painting.
Maybe the Last Supper if they invited Papa Smurf. What the fuck? There was no blue guy there.
It's because they were all sitting on the same side of the table. Now, what they will not say,
they're mad.
The people will not say they're not mad that it was. I'm like talking like Trump. They're not mad that it was mocking the Last Supper.
They were because there was trans people.
It was drag
trans
queens.
performers.
Yeah,
and the bearded lady. They probably lost their shit over that one too.
No matter, I will bet you, no matter what the display was, no matter what it was, if it had drag queens in it, they would have been pissed off.
Right. You know what? Why? Okay, I got this question. When I was watching a recap of it, and they were showing like the bearded lady walking down there, I'm like, where were you guys when like the circus fucking rolled out? They've always had the bearded lady in the circus. What the fuck? And then you're gonna complain about it now? You know your ass used to go to Ringling Brothers.
And how much do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet all the people crying never saw it live in the first place?
Right.
It wasn't until the next day when they looked on Facebook, they saw some Ben Shapiro or whoever get butthurt about it.
Did I not text you, being like, hey, try to find me a clip of this. I'm looking all over the place for this. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I could not find it. I couldn't find it anywhere on YouTube. I'm gonna bitch about YouTube again on this podcast because they irritate the shit out of me. I get so tired when I have to when I type into the thing, Paris opening ceremony, Greek whatever, I put that in the title. What does it pull up? Some jerk off explaining to me what happened. I don't want to see that.
I know.
I want to
I
see
hate
the
that.
video. I can come to my own fucking conclusions. I don't need you telling me how I should feel.
I hate that because they play like 4 or 5 seconds of it.
And then they gotta talk.
Then they just go, now, before we get to this.
I know. And I'm like, no, shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck what you think. You're entitled to your opinion. You can discuss it all you want, but you should not be the top thing that I have to click on when I think I'm getting the video. It should be the fucking video. And then I should go from there and be like, all right, if I want so-and-so's opinion on this.
You know what we should do? Because we have our own, YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to Reality Redemption. We should do that. We should do the video where we'll post the clip of the video.
We will play the whole video.
And then we'll comment on it after.
And then we will comment. We're going to start something new. So you know, you do not have to sit through tons of stops of bullshit.
Right.
You could just watch our video and not listening, be like, I don't want to listen to those jerk-offs. I'd be fine with that as long as people get to see and make decisions for themselves.
Yeah, and honestly...
The fuck? I'm tired of being told how I should feel.
Who really gives a fuck about what we think?
Right,
Well,
yeah.
apparently a few people do.
Right? Yeah, well, fuck them. Fuck us, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So we went from that, and that outrage that lasted for days. Even though people would go on and they'd be like, no, it doesn't, it's not this, not the Last Supper, it's meant to be this. People still didn't get it. The Olympics came out and said...
They apologized.
We didn't mean to offend anybody. It goes, see, that's what it was. It goes, no, they just meant they didn't mean for it to be taken out of context like that.
What was that room like where the French were like, oh, we have to apologize to the Americans because they cannot take it?
I saw one guy. I wish I remembered.
Really?
I wish I remembered who said this, but he goes, "Thank you for America for just showing us how uncultured you really are yet again."
Or how big of pussies you are. I thought we were supposed to be the tough guys who could like take shit and solve the world's problems. Like, we don't look like that if we're getting worked up over a runway show.
Yeah, and a blue guy sitting in a plate.
Like,
really?
With some trans people thrown in there. Like, what the who gives a fuck?
Right.
Get on with your day.
Then you had, this was the coolest thing I've ever seen in an opening ceremony. The rock band Gorgilla, who's from France.
Oh, yeah.
They played this old French song, but this heavy metal, and they're hanging off the side of this old building in France along the river. And it started off where it was Marie Antoinette and holding, the severed head.
Holding her own head.
Yeah. And I was just like, holy shit, this is the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen.
And then there was a mechanical horse, which was supposed to represent Joan of Arc.
Yeah.
Another famous historical French figure.
Yeah, so Gorgilla was just, they said it was satanic, an attack on Christianity, where it's like, no, it was history. It's a song about Marie Antoinette.
And it's showing you pieces of famous people from French history. Newsflash, the Olympics are in Paris. I don't know what the fucking problem is. I thought it was pretty cool too. So why is it that people can watch these movies where people get shot up by guns and shit? They can sit there and love the fuck out of John Wick, but they can't take a fucking music video like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm calling bullshit on them.
Well,
because it's selective outrage.
Because it's an attack on their Christianity. Now,
Marie Antoinette and Joan of Arc.
Let's be fair. How many countries, I don't know this number, so I'm just throwing this out there. How many countries and different religions are represented by the Olympics? It's just not about America. Now, if fucking Kid Rock came out, played off the side of fucking Alcatraz, singing America, fuck yeah, you would love the shit out of that.
He'd be like, he's over there. You know what they'd be like? He's over there showing them French people who's boss.
Yeah. I'm not eating French fries anymore. I'm fucking back to my freedom fries.
there are restaurants that have changed the name. They do not call them French fries. They call them freedom fries. Restaurants around here.
Right. And let's go back to where that happened. And that was during the Gulf War, and they wouldn't allow us to fly over France, so we had to fly around France instead of over it when we were dropping bombs.
Yeah, because France doesn't have the right to say, no, we don't want you to
Yeah.
fly over here.
Yeah, we don't
Find
want
a
you in our
different
airspace.
path.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
It, it was a war we weren't supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All those weapons of mass destruction.
Just saying. So,
We can't find those weapons of mass destruction, so it's about liberating the Iraqi people.
all these
or-
weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Weapons.
I don't know. I would so kill to have him back.
No, I wouldn't.
Not now.
I'm,
Not right now.
No.
No, but the alternative. The alternative
If it
to...
means that we would have never had to have a President Trump,
Yeah.
then okay. But not now, though. Not
Yeah.
now. You know.
Well,
I mean,
he's gotten cooler. I mean,
isn't he like friends with all the people on our side now?
Yeah.
Anyways, like they're all like him
Yeah.
and Michelle Obama are best friends or something. They're like besties.
You see them? They were sitting at it was somebody's funeral, and Michelle was handing him little grandmother candies, and George Bush Jr. was laughing. Remember that?
No, but I love their relationship. I love that they like just love each other so much. I
Yeah.
think it's adorable.
All right, so then we get to Olympic boxing, okay? And let me pull up my notes here. I'm gonna mangle this name. Imone Keif, or Kaif, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't,
Of
don't ask
Algeria.
me. Yeah.
Who's a female boxer,
Right.
okay? And she hit this other female boxer one punch. Now, one boxer is a lot bigger than the other. A lot. One punch, the girl's just like, ow. And she called it off. She goes, she just knew she would get her ass kicked. So she just immediately gave up.
How'd she make it all the way to the Olympics?
Well, I don't think she's been punched square in the face like that before.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, I don't know totally, but immediately it comes out without very little information coming out at first that this boxer from Algeria was banned by a certain boxing league who has ties to Russia because of something that they found in a test. Not saying what it was, but immediately they go to, well, it was a man competing in a woman's sport.
I have a question. How would they know this if they boycotted the Olympics and they weren't watching? Didn't they boycott due to the opening ceremony?
It's the same way they got mad about the ceremony. They saw it on the Facebook feed, and they had someone tell them what they should be mad about today.
Fair enough. I just wanted the clarification before
Right.
we went any further.
Right, and
All
that's
right.
admit it, people. That's what you were mad about. Somebody on Facebook told you to be mad.
You were mad because your friends were outraged.
Yep.
So you did the mob thing where you jumped on.
Here's what I did when I heard the story, and because I was kind of like, well, if that's, I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking, well, if that's true, that really isn't right. Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Right?
So what did I do? I researched it. Okay?
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Right. So what it turns out is, according to science, you can have an X and a Y chromosome both, which leads to higher testosterone levels.
Right?
Okay? She was born female with female parts, but she has a higher testosterone level because of genetics.
Let me interject here really quick. Okay, so when I just went on my trip to the 4 states in the Midwest,
Yeah.
when I was in Omaha, I went to their science museum one night, right? Because they had adults only night
Wait, there's a science museum in the Midwest?
in Omaha.
In the Bible Belt?
Well, Omaha's like a bluer area of Nebraska.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I go to this science museum because luckily when I was there, the night I was there, I was like, this is a sign. They do adults only nights only on Thursday nights where you can like walk around with your cocktails and look at all the stuff. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so awesome. So anyways, there's a thing there that has you test your senses, right? And there's one that's really interesting because it's the smell test, right? So I turned it on that one. You could do smell, eyes, blah blah blah. It went around your five senses. So they have you like hold on to something when you're there, and I think you push like the button on it too. Like you hold on to it and then you push the button and you're like, can you smell this smell? Right? What do you smell when you do this? And then then it says if you smelled nothing, blah blah blah. If you smelled, this, or if it was a really strong smell, da da da, right? So mine was like, I'm like, I don't smell anything. And then so I read that, and it's like, people that don't smell anything have like no estrogen at all. And I was like, oh my God, that makes sense. Like I have zero estrogen, right? And then it's like, if you smelled this intensely and it smelled like really bad and intense to you, it means that you have like high levels of testosterone. And it did not say on there it had nothing to do with your sex, like if you were male or female. So it's like, so my point is like, yes, we could all have different levels of stuff in us, right? Like I don't have any testosterone, but I also have like no estrogen. And then if you would smell like a certain thing if you had like normal amounts in you. You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing. So get back to the boxer. After it came out, Algeria came out and said, no, here's photos of her as a kid. Here's a birth certificate. Could you imagine having just your feelings alone that this person competed their whole life to get to this moment, and then you're going to be attacked like this, and you have to prove yourself to be a female?
And, our friends on the right side of the aisle, why are they always doing this to women? And it's usually always women of color that they're doing this to. Look what they did it to Leslie, is it Leslie Jones, Leslie James?
Yeah.
When she was in Ghostbusters, and they were like talking shit about her. They've done it to Michelle Obama.
Yeah, saying that she's a man.
Yeah, they've done it. Okay, they've done it to her. My question would be, why have you guys never asked Marjorie Taylor Greene? I'm so irritated.
Yeah.
I'm like, if anyone has like a ton of testosterone running through their veins, like I'm so tired of them sitting there talking shit. And it's like, you guys have women like this, even on your own side. Like, right. I don't understand this. Why are you constantly attacking?
It's like a UFC fighter. Now, there's a few good-looking UFC fighters, but, no offense to anyone. I don't mean this offensive in any way to any woman, but a lot of UFC fighters have women fighters have very masculine kind of
because
features.
They probably have different chromosomes. Like, it's not like people walk around with their chromosome code on their fucking forehead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't do that here. At least not yet. I don't know. Maybe with AI we will someday.
Well, and here's the thing that really bothers me about it, because number one, you jump to fucking conclusion right away without at least doing all the 5 minutes of research that I did. The 5 minutes. And I was like, oh. Is that you refuse to take your post down and apologize. Well, no. I guess I don't really expect you to apologize for it. Because there's still people out saying there shouldn't be men in fucking women's sports at the Olympics. Still saying that even after it came out. At least take the fucking post down and go, ooh, I was wrong there. I don't want to embarrass myself.
Well, they don't feel embarrassment, though. They don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
Or they're so dumb they don't even know how to go down and delete things they've already put up. That's what I'm voting for. The latter.
There is a good news to this story though, is that and I hate to say it because I'll butcher her name, but um, she will at least win a medal.
Oh, good.
She's down to the final four, and she will at least get a bronze.
And we should also say too that fighters who have previously fought her, women fighters,
Have beat her.
yeah,
Yeah, she didn't have a stunning record.
and they also said nice things about her. Like they're like, I never would have even said that about her. There's no way that it's unfair to attack her on the way that she was born. Like, okay, I want to say this again since we're talking about this on the podcast. When babies are conceived,
Okay.
I feel like we're going to sex ed, right? Everyone who turns out to be, who is born a male, born a female, whatever, everyone starts out as female. And then when it gets to a certain point, and that is the point where, I didn't know we were talking about this in this much detail on this episode, so I can't remember like which week it is, where the female will either turn into a male or stay a female. So when that happens, like the molting process, whatever you want to call it, how do people not realize that there could be fucking variations there because of the way that this all works? Because of the way that science works, because of the way that the birthing, becoming a human process works.
Right. As Lady Gaga said, we're born this way. Right?
Yeah, it's like, how do they not get though that some people could get genes from other and like that it gets a little complicated there? How do they not get that?
And to leave it on, well, one more point to make after this, but to leave this part of the conversation is, if you believe in God that much, hey, we're not going to fault you for that on this podcast. We've always said that. Have faith in whatever gets you through the day. Mm-hmm. Believe what you want to believe as long as it doesn't hurt other people. But didn't God make all of us, if that's what you believe in?
True.
Right? Don't they say God made us in his own shadow or whatever they say,
Well, yeah, if you're going to believe, God versus science, cool. But it's like, maybe you just aren't open to the idea of there being an in-between because you're so focused on the Adam and Eve story, when it's like, okay, but those were only two people right there. So there wasn't a bunch more people coming around yet to learn about the variations, Right.
And so, we'll end this on this, and speaking of Olympics and tying it back to J.D. Vance, is Simone Biles, the greatest Olympic gymnast of all time.
I love Simone Biles.
Yeah, cheers, Simone.
I know, cheers. And I love that she's like kicking ass after she got shit from our former president for the Tokyo thing, where she's like, no, I need to work on myself. Good for you, girl. Good for you. Because
in the last Olympics, she got what was called the twisties, that when you're doing the balance beam, you get up there, you do a spin move, and you get like vertigo. And she couldn't get it out of her head.
Right.
So she just withdrew and said, no, I can't do this. And like J.D. Vance called her weak for not putting Team USA in front of herself. And my belief, and I'm sure this is your belief too, I think we talked about it at the time on the podcast, is there is nothing more proud that you can do than to focus on your own mental health.
And then she was fucked either way. They would have, they were either going to call her weak, or if she would have competed and then lost, then they would have given her shit. Yep. And we know why. We know the real reason why they would have giving her so
Right,
much crap.
right. To just Google a picture of her if
Yeah.
you don't know. Yeah, I mean,
Like-
if you don't know who she is, I mean, Jesus Christ, where the fuck have you been? I guess you've been boycotting that part of the Olympics.
Yeah. So it's like, just shut up, JD
Yeah.
Vance. Just-
But but Team USA is kicking ass this year at the Olympics, and you know, I think it's the one time that you think that we could all get behind Team USA, but sadly, we can't. So, anyway, that's been this episode, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.